Good morning, dear friends, and blessings to you on this glorious day. Uh, Thank you for joining me on this midweek meditation. I'll be reading to you today from Matthew chapter 16, verses 13 through 18. Now, when Jesus came into the district of Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, "Who do people say the Son of Man is?" And they said, "Some say John the Baptist, but others Elijah, and still others Jeremiah or one of the prophets." He said to them, "But who do you say that I am?" Simon Peter answered, "You are the Messiah, the Son of the living God." And Jesus answered him, "Blessed are you, Simon, son of Jonah, for flesh and blood has not revealed this to you, but my Father in heaven. And I tell you, you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of Hades will not prevail against it." This is God's word for God's people. Thanks be to God. Browns quarterback Baker Mayfield famously awoke one Sunday morning saying he felt dangerous. He was not the first to feel that way. Perhaps all of us have felt dangerous at one time or another. At a previous church, the secretary and I were often struggling to understand the technical capabilities of the computer systems at our disposal. As we experimented and tried to discover ways to solve certain problems, one of us would discover an easy solution to an issue before us. We would pause with a sense of triumph and say to one another, "Oh, we're getting dangerous now." Whenever you master a new skill, achieve a new level of expertise, or expand your capabilities, you get that sense that nothing can stop you. You are indeed dangerous. The opposite of that feeling is a sense of fear. When you feel powerless, when you are subject to forces beyond your control, when you feel your fate is in the hands of others, then naturally the result is fear. So, which emotion do you think God would want you to have? Erwin McManus remembers a summer when his young son went off to church camp. He writes, "He was just a little guy, and I was kind of glad because it was a church camp. I figured he wasn't going to hear all those ghost stories, because ghost stories can really cause a kid to have nightmares. But unfortunately, since it was a Christian camp and they didn't believe in telling ghost stories, they told demons and Satan stories instead. And so when Aaron got home, he was terrified. 'Dad, don't turn off the light,' he said before going to bed. 'No, Daddy, could you stay with me? Daddy, I'm afraid.' They all told stories about demons. And I wanted to say they're not real. He goes, 'Daddy, could you pray for me that I would be safe?' I could feel it. I could feel warm blanket Christianity beginning to wrap around him. A life of safety, safety, safety. I said, 'Aaron, I will not pray for you to be safe. I will pray that God will make you dangerous. So dangerous that demons will flee whenever you enter the room.' He goes, 'All right, but pray that I would be really, really dangerous, Daddy.' So let me ask you, do you want Jesus to make you safe? Or would you rather Jesus make you dangerous? When Jesus asked his disciples who people say he is and who they say he is, Peter responded, 'You are the Messiah, the Son of the living God.' Jesus responded by calling him the rock. And then he proclaimed that upon this rock he would build his church, and the gates of Hades will not prevail against it." Now, the terminology here is important. You should know that the gates of a city or castle are defensive structures. They are designed to keep the attackers out. So when Jesus says the gates of Hades will not prevail against his church, he is saying that his church is the attacking army. We often think of the church as seeking safety behind the gates of God's protection. No, not at all. Jesus expects his church to go on the offensive, to attack the forces of death, to ransack the power of despair, to overrun the spirit of hopelessness. No, it isn't the church huddled behind defenses, hoping to survive. Instead, it's evil that hides from the forces of light. And against the onslaught of the people of God, the gates of Hades will not stand. They don't stand a chance. So how about you? God has given his church the gifts, the skills, and the power to prevail. 2 Timothy 1:7 says, "For God did not give us a spirit of cowardice, but rather a spirit of power and of love and of self-discipline." So, are you huddled away in fear? Or has Jesus made you dangerous? Really, really dangerous. May God give you the confidence to prevail wherever darkness shows its face. God bless you, my friends. We'll see you soon.